Hi, good afternoon everyone. My name's Angus Robinson from the Anritsu company. I want to show you today our new 2080 Spectrum Analyzer and some of the great new features that we're introducing with it. So the 2080 Spectrum Analyzer, which I've got here, is built and derived from the 2090, which went to 54 gigahertz. This instrument goes to 4 gigahertz and offers a great solution for people interested in the sub 6 gigahertz and FR1 bands in the cellular industry. I've also got with us here today our new broadband antenna. This is a really exciting product for us because the single antenna covers from 20 megahertz to 8.5 gigahertz, which means that for regulators who need to test a very wide spectrum of signals, they can do that all with one antenna. It's a log periodic antenna with a built-in loop, which enables us to cover that very wide frequency range. So I'm here in Barcelona, in the center of this wonderful city, enjoying the cafe culture. And you can see just how many signals we're able to detect. I'm sweeping from 300 megahertz to 4 gigahertz here. And we can see all the traditional GSM and 3G bands. And we've also got LTE and some 5G signals up at the higher frequencies. So what I just want to do now is show you how easily we can do some demods of some of these. If I just select the 5G tab here and load the settings for one of the 5G carriers that we identified earlier here in Spain, the instrument switches into a 5G demod mode, and immediately we start decoding on the sync signal block, the SSB, and making measurements. So we can see there's plenty of beams here. We're seeing 6 or 7 beams on this carrier. The center frequency
is around 3.75 gigahertz.
We're seeing the cell ID here, and along the bottom here we can see for each beam what the RSRP, RSRQ and SINAR are. So we can see what the signal strength is and get a good idea of the coverage we're getting from this particular cell site. The instrument's also got a real-time spectrum analyzer. So if I go into the real-time spectrum analyzer mode, I tuned here to the LTE bands, and we can see a couple of LTE carriers here next to each other. The total span here is 20 megahertz. These are about 10 megahertz each, these LTE carriers. So with a real-time spectrum analyzer, the powerful thing is not just that it's obviously real time, but it's a very powerful tool for finding interfering signals, because we can see signal within signal in the power spectral density display. And if there are intermittent signals that are popping up for short periods of time, for example, caused by industrial machinery switching, we capture that, even if it's got a very short duration of time, that would be causing interference in our signal, in our network, but it might only exist for a short period of time. So a really powerful tool for the interference hunting. And then the final thing I want to have a look at here is actually the interference mode. And that's where this new antenna with its handle comes into play. We've got built-in GPS and e-compass. So when we get into the interference analyzer mode, because of the directivity of the antenna, as I move the antenna around and point it in different directions, we can see the amplitude of the carrier changing depending upon whether we're pointing towards the antenna or not. And if I just home in on where we are, here we are with our map of Barcelona. And when I move the antenna around, the e-compass draws a line showing me where I am. And we can see the channel power, the relative strength of the signal in the different directions. So when I'm at the peak, if I pull the trigger, it drops a line on the map, and that tells us in which direction that transmitter is. So by repeating that process from a couple of different locations, I can see where the lines intersect, and I can identify where the wanted or even the illegal or interfering transmitter is located. So I hope that's given you an overview of some of the capability of the product. It's a really exciting product, got a lot of features built into it. Traditional spectrum analyzer, real-time spectrum analyzer, 5G and LTE demods, modulation quality measurements, and interference finding tools as well. So a really powerful instrument, the MS2080A from Anritsu. Thank you for listening, and please visit our website for further information.